Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is KL Hill and I am a carnivore. Today I want to talk about something that it kind of came to me today, being that it is my mother's 72nd birthday. It would have been her 72nd birthday, but she passed away nearly 13 years ago. But there was something that she used to say to me all the time, and that is, show me someone who hasn't failed, and I'll show you someone who hasn't tried. And that really rings true on a lot of different levels. The first reason is because this is my second video, and yesterday I decided to record my first video. So I'm on a walk with my dog, and we out, and it's a beautiful day, and it's just beautiful scenery. And I record this video, and it's about 30 minutes long. Excuse me. It's about 30 minutes long, and I get home and I'm excited. I'm like, okay, I finally made this carnivore video, and I'm gonna get it, uploaded to YouTube, and I'm gonna get a few views. I know it's not gonna be a lot, but at least a lot of people. A few people will get a chance to see it, and maybe it'll inspire some people, and mostly it'll inspire me to do even more videos. So I get to the video, and I make me a thumbnail, and I go to upload the video, and it says it's going to take 100 and some odd hours to upload. Excuse me. And I couldn't really figure out what it was, so it's just taking, every time I open the app, it says it's going to take 10 hours, 12 hours, 130 hours, 115 hours, 4 hours, 59 minutes. It's just all over the place. And I did a little bit of research, and come to find out, I recorded the video on my phone, but I recorded it in 4K. So it took forever to upload that video. I started uploading that video at about, I want to say it was about maybe 1 p.m. Central Time, and it didn't fully upload until sometime early this morning. But it is up and it is out. I know better, so this video is just going to be in standard HD. And that's, this brings me to the topic of today, and that is trial and error. Show me someone who hasn't failed, and I'll show you someone who hasn't tried. And that really rings true for me, because I've tried a lot of different things to lose weight over the years and just become a healthier individual. I've, done everything from low carb to low fat to vegetarian. I never went vegan. I just did the fish and lean meat like turkey and chicken and shrimp and things like that. Nothing ever really worked for me, but I tried it because all my life I've been that chubby kid. I've always been that big kid, no matter what. Like once I turned like 10 years old, something happened. I know what it was. It was, just the environment I lived in, because, bad food was accessible. Even though my parents did cook home cooked meals, I still had access to my own money. I always found a way to make some money, whether it was raking leaves or cutting grass or selling snow cones or even just getting allowance for doing things around the house. So I always had my own money, and there was a restaurant on every corner in Chicago during that time. And not only was there a restaurant on every corner, there was the candy lady. There were people selling all kinds of candy and snowballs and icy cups. And, if you from the Midwest and y'all had those type of neighborhoods, leave it in the comments. Tell me about your experiences growing up with the penny candy lady, or having just a fast food restaurant on every corner with just all the foods you could think of, and it was super cheap at the time. So, like when I became, like I said, preteen, I started to gain weight. Even though I was active, I played not in high school or anything, but just for fun with the friends and in the neighborhood. Football, baseball, softball, basketball. Some guys, we even played tennis. Racquetball. Played this game called Strikeout with that rubber ball that we would draw a box on the side of a building and throw the ball as hard as possible and try to hit it as hard as possible. Or if the ball hit the center of the square where there was a circle drawn, you're automatically out. So I was always active. I've never been lazy. I was even in martial arts for about 3 years, starting at 13. I think I stopped doing it around 16 and a half, 17, somewhere in there. But no matter what, whether I was exercising or active or lifting weights or not, whatnot, I was always chubby. So I've tried a lot of things over the years, and you know, maybe I want to say starting about 2018, I got to the point where I wanted to actually get healthy. I'm a married man. I do have 3 kids. I was at the time I was, approaching 40. So, knowing my family history, like I said, my mother passed away 13 years ago. Just recently lost my father 2 years ago. There's a 10-year age difference between my parents. My father was 10 years her elder, but my mother passed away at 59 years old. And over a span of about 10 months, she, had 2 massive strokes that, you know, ended her life. And her being a nurse and being in the healthcare field all of my life, you would think that a nurse knows how to take care of people, so they would automatically know how to take care of themselves. But that wasn't necessarily the case. Her being the nurse that she was, working at a assisted living home, her job really was to report injuries, report incidents, pass medication, make sure patients or residents got their dietary needs taken care of, and that was pretty much it. There was no real intervention to get these people better and out of these homes. That was going to be their final home. So she got to see that medications can prolong your life. Not making them better, but they would definitely prolong your life. So she dealt with a lot of different illnesses over her life, and high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, hypertension, and lowered kidney function. She dealt with that. Both of my parents pretty much had high blood pressure and diabetes. My father's diabetes was way more manageable to where he only had to take a pill. He did a little bit different. He was a lot more active than my mother was, but I'm getting beside the point. My family history led me to want to change my life, because nearing 40, I never had any real serious illnesses. I've never been diabetic. I've never had high blood pressure, no high cholesterol. All my annual doctor's visits were always good, but the only thing that was creeping up was my weight. I went from, my early 20s at 5'8", being around 190 pounds, which was a solid dude, but I still, was a little chubby around the middle, to ballooning up to 273 pounds, nearing 40 years old. And, one morning I decided that, I get on the scale of 273 pounds, and I don't believe it, but I can feel it in my body. So I had to try some things, and I tried a lot of things, and I failed at quite a bit of them. I mean, I didn't fail because I didn't try. I failed because they just didn't work, and they didn't work for me. I don't know if they work for anyone else, but they didn't work for me. So when I finally found something that worked, the first thing I encountered was the keto diet, and that pretty much changed my whole outlook on health and wellness. It was amazing, because at the same time I'm hearing that all these good things are coming from keto. I'm trying those things, and they're helping, but I'm also hearing this negative press that keto can do this and it can do that. It can, high cholesterol, and it can kill your kidneys, and it can do all this terrible stuff. And I'm on this keto diet, and I'm experiencing the exact opposite. I go from 273 pounds to 260 pounds over a matter of like 2 months. Not even 2 months. It's probably like a month, honestly. It's been so long ago that I really forget, because this was around the same time COVID hit. So I went to get my blood work done right before the pandemic hit, and my A1C went from a 6.4 down to a 5.7, I believe it was. The only deficiency I had was vitamin D. Even though I worked outdoors quite a bit, I wasn't getting enough sun. But everything else was good. My blood pressure was good. My blood sugars were good. My fasting glucose was close. It was like it was like 101. It was like 101. The next time I got it checked, it was like 103 or so. So it was I was borderline. I was really getting close to being metabolically ill. But staying on the path of keto, it helped me lose weight. And during the time of the pandemic, when the world shut down, a lot of people were gaining weight. Myself, I was doing the exact opposite. I'm shedding pounds left and right, and I'm not going outside. I'm just changing my diet. That's all I really did. I was just changing my diet. And I was amazed at how fast this weight started coming off of me. By mid 2020, I was down to, I want to say, about 225. We go back to work, and I kind of get off the diet for a little bit. And my weight started to come back a little bit. Now, got back up to 240. So around the holidays, you know how that is. You know, good food, good people. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so we're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to have a couple drinks. We're going to eat some food. We're going to have dessert. But I knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right because I could feel my body starting to change again. Like, I started getting more sluggish. I didn't have as much energy. So I started to look for things to help me stay on that keto path, because when you're on keto, you're still getting carbs, and I still had some of those cravings to take in something sweet. You know, it was okay for me to go get a couple cookies or a slice of cake left over from Thanksgiving, or eat some pancakes. You know, I'm gonna eat pancakes, but I'm gonna eat like 4 eggs, and I'm gonna eat some sausage and bacon. But the weight started creeping back up, and that's when I started, hearing about this carnivore diet through, I think it was Jordan Peterson. And I decided I was going to try it, but I didn't do it until 2021. I waited until, I want to say it was about February of 2021. And at that time, I was about 230 pounds. I did the carnivore diet for 14 days and got down to 212 pounds. That was my lowest weight since my early 20s. And I was like excited. I was amazed. I was like, this is working. This really helps. Like, I'm going to stay doing this. Unfortunately, something happened. A couple things happened. I found out my father had been diagnosed with gastric cancer. I found out that he had to do chemo, and it devastated my family. It really was tough. He was really strong, and he did a lot to make us comfortable as a family. He wanted us to not worry about him. He was nearing 80 years old, and he was saying things like, I lived a long, beautiful life, and I'm not trying to go nowhere, but if something were to happen, I'm okay with it. But he did everything he needed to do during the time to fight the good fight against that damn cancer. But anyway, so during that time, he's telling us about him with his diagnosis of cancer. I feel bad because I'm almost at, not the peak of health, but I'm in the best metabolic health I've been in my adulthood, and my father is wasting away with cancer, and something just didn't sit well with me, and I got stressed out, and I'm trying to stick with it. And then another roadblock happened. I in the kitchen with my kids, and I end up passing out, and I didn't know what it was. I just remember my wife calling my name, and I'm laying underneath the table, and I'm looking up at the bottom of the kitchen table, and I try to get up, and lights out again, and I wake up to her sitting on the floor with my head in her lap, and she's on the phone with emergency services, and they take me to the hospital. They check me over 100%. I tell them, hey, I changed my diet recently. I've lost a lot of weight. I've been doing this carnivore diet. I'm like, it's probably this damn carnivore diet that did this to me, and I'm just blaming everything on the carnivore diet. And all the tests come back normal. No high blood pressure, no low blood sugar, no deficiencies, no pneumonia, no COVID, no anything. It was, it was amazing to me. I did the EKG, EEG, I did chest X-ray, I did all of it in the ER. And, nothing was wrong. So followed up with my primary, and she didn't like the carnivore diet to begin with. She didn't like the carnivore. She didn't like keto, and this was just her opportunity to tell me, see, I told you. I told you that eating that way is not healthy and it's not sustainable. It's making you sick and you passed out and you know you did that in front of your family. How did your family feel? And you did that in front of your kids. And she's really talking down to me, and I felt some way about it. But you know, being a parent, I don't want to be stubborn. I'm listening to this doctor, and I'm like, maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. So I asked her, I'm like, is there anything else we can do? Everything came back negative. Is there anything else we can do to find out what this was? Because what happened was I was standing up in the kitchen for a very long time. I know I'm getting a little too detailed, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My left leg is about a ½ inch shorter than my right leg. So from time to time when I stand up, if I'm standing in one spot for a long time, I lock my knees when I'm standing up. I kind of have to because of the way my legs are built. So, and I told her I thought maybe that's what it was because I have passed out before. You know, that was like in, you know, early 20s. I've done that before, so I know that this has happened before. But everything going on while the diet is in play, I felt different, so I want to get everything checked out. So she said, well, yeah, you can go get a stress test and I can refer you to a cardiologist. I do the stress test. If you ever had a stress test done, you know, that's a stressful thing. I mean, that's why they call it a stress test. You know, I got bad knees, so I haven't physically done any running in the longest time, but I was able to run on a treadmill for nearly 12 minutes with no issues. And, you know, you got to give them a 60-second heads up so they can stop the machine, lay you on a table, and then do an ultrasound of your heart while it's pumping at, you know, your maximum heart rate. And I do the test, tell them I got to get off this treadmill. They do the ultrasound. The doctor comes over, he looks. So, okay, everything's good. You have a nice day, Mr. Hill. And I'm like, wait, hold up. What are you talking about? Everything's okay? He's like, yeah, everything's okay. Everything looks good. There's nothing wrong with your heart. I don't see anything wrong here. And I'm like, so why did I pass out? He's like, well, you know, I saw on your chart, you said that, you know, you had been standing and, you know, your knees were locked, you know, so it's probably an episode of syncope. What the hell is syncope? He said, well, you know, it's vasovagal syncope. You know, if you stand with your knees locked for a long amount of time, and when you unlock your knees, I don't know if the blood rushes to your feet or if it rushes to your head, but it does one or the other, makes you lightheaded, and you can pass out. And he's like, yeah, you can go online and you can look at videos of soldiers standing at attention, being yelled at by the drill sergeant to not lock their knees so they won't pass out. So I did that little bit of research, and sure enough, I saw that a lot of people have passed out from having their knees locked. And I know I have done it in the past, but I didn't put it together at the time, and it was kind of like this light went off. I'm like, well, I can go back to doing a diet. And I get home, and I tell my wife, hey, good news. I tell the kids the good news. Everything's good. You know, doctor said I can go. You know, it wasn't the diet that did it. You know, it was the way I was standing. I was right. And you know, they both, you know, not both, but my family, they kind of looked. They were like, glad everything's healthy. I mean, glad you're healthy. Glad everything's good. I'm not sure about the diet though. It was kind of discouraging, but I was really anxious to get back on this diet. And later on, my dad came over and I told him about the results, and I said, yeah, I'm, you know, as soon as I can, I'm gonna start this diet back up. He's like, you know, you sure? Yeah, I'm 100% sure, man. I lost 60 pounds. Like, I lost 60 pounds in like less than a year. And, you know, I was maintaining it. And I was on my way down to less than 200. And he's like, okay, you know, you're a grown man. You can do what you want to do, but just take it easy. Just be careful with it. And when he said that, I knew what he meant. Like, that's my dad. And, you know, I was raised in the house with him. And, you know, he taught me a lot. And when he said what he said, he was basically telling me to do whatever I wanted to do. But he disapproved of it. He didn't think it was right. You know, you tell a nearly 80-year-old black man from the South that you're only supposed to eat meat and that's healthy, don't sound right. You know, he's taking a handful of medication every day, and then once a week every 2 weeks he's doing chemo now. So um, I didn't get back on the diet. I didn't get back on the diet until this year. But about a year after that whole episode of me passing out happened, I lost my dad. Um, it was hard. It was really hard. I don't wish anyone to have to go through that, but that's just something that we're all gonna have to go through. You never get over it, but you learn how to get through it. And for all of 2022, I was spiraling out of control. I'm not a drinker. I started drinking every night. I ate what I wanted to, when I wanted to, how I wanted to. I started isolating myself from my family. Even though I was working and I was maintaining, work relationships, I would come home or I would be at home and I just not up for conversation. I just don't want to do anything. And it took me a while to realize that I was being selfish and then I was being destructive. So it was about a year of that. So around 2023, I decided, I'm gonna change some things up, but I just couldn't get out of that rut. In 2023, I almost gained all of that weight that I lost back. Out of that 60, I think I lost 62 pounds initially. I gained about 50 of those pounds back. I'm hovering right around 260. And, we get towards the holidays and, Thanksgiving's coming up and it's like, I don't want to start this now, I'll start at the beginning of the year. And you know how people are. You tell them, hey, I'm going to do this on New Year's. I'm going to start my, New Year's off right. I'm going to make my New Year's resolution to get healthy. And, you tell people your plans, they might believe in you, they might not, but you can see it in their faces that, sure, if you do it, you do it. If you don't, we still love you. So January 1st rolls around and I map out a plan. I said, okay, I'm not going to start with keto. Keto was just a stepping stone. It got me to understand how my body worked. But carnivore was the one that actually helped me really lose the weight and really fine-tune how my body works. So I decided I'm gonna do carnivore. So January 2nd, I started. And today is my mother's birthday, and which is June 13th. I am down 46 pounds. Don't seem like a lot, but it's a lot for me. That nearly 62 pounds that I lost initially, that's almost gone. I'm almost back there. My lowest weight at the time, when I got down to my lowest, it was 212 pounds. I'm 215 right now. So actually, that's 47 pounds. But who's counting? I am. Because it feels good. My body's feeling amazing. I have had situations, I have my daughter's birthday, my youngest daughter's birthday at the very beginning of the year. Me and my wife's anniversary is February. My oldest daughter, her birthday is in April. So I've had things in there where I might have a slice of cake, or I'll eat some fried chicken, or I might eat a little bit of pasta or something like that. And since I've been on that carnivore kick, I know how that food is going to affect me, so I know what I need to do to counteract the effects of those carbs in my system. And I didn't realize until I started going strict carnivore, which was this year, that carbs do me dirty. They do me so wrong. I hold on to so much fluid and inflammation with just a little bit of carbohydrate. And I think that's amazing, because I grew up in the era of carbohydrates. Like I said, that penny candy lady was a monster. And it wasn't just one of them. It was a neighborhood full of them. There's restaurants where you could just go buy, you know, cheeseburgers and hamburgers and pizza puffs and chicken wings and gyros and just all kind of craziness. And we had gyro tacos, gyro double cheeseburgers. What? Like, why are you selling this stuff? Pizza puffs, like a deep fried pizza with a bag of fries and mild sauce and hot sauce. And it was just ridiculous. And you wash that down with a can of pop, and you're done with the pop, and you're walking back home, and you walk past the candy lady. You got $3 in your pocket. Like, all right, cool. Let me get $1 worth of cookies. Let me get $1 worth of chews, and let me get 4 packs of Now Laters. And as I'm walking home, I'm eating that stuff. So I didn't realize for a long time those carbs were that bad for me, but they were. But now that I know, I'm gonna do better. I've been doing better. So I just want to tell you guys, you could do it too. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm none of that. I'm just a person that's tried that diet and it's worked for me. I'm going to do more videos here pretty soon. I'm going to make them a lot shorter than this one is here. But I just thought, you know, these first couple of videos, they needed to be a little bit longer just so I can lay some of the foundation of who I am and why I want to do what I'm doing here on YouTube and why I want to do what I'm doing now for my life. Because both sides of my family, disease runs rampant. And I want to show my kids that there's a better way to do it. And I want to show, you know, people who are willing to listen that there's a different way to do it. And you don't have to listen to your doctor when they say that you have to take this medication for the rest of your life. Do a little bit of your own research. See what you find out. Try it. If it doesn't work, try something else. Because like I said in the very beginning of this video, show me someone who hasn't failed, and I'll show you someone who hasn't tried. Until next time, thank y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Just say, hey, KL, whatever. Tell me about that candy lady. I want to know about that. Did y'all have a candy lady in y'all neighborhood? Or what did y'all have in y'all neighborhood that was the equivalent of the candy lady? I know the candy lady is a Midwest thing, but what did you have growing up in your neighborhood? Until next time, peace, wealth, health, success. Talk to you guys later.